Hey everybody, this is going to be my first flight test pilot. I'll call it episode 0, okay? I'll call it episode 0, and I'm going to call this the CoachMarkThrows Podcast. This podcast is going to be dedicated to throwers, talk about recruiting and athlete development, and what makes those athletes and help them thrive. Why I'm starting this podcast is I've been thinking about it for a while. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I think I just needed to hit play. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just wanted to record it and see where it goes and see what kind of opportunities this might bring upon. I got a lot of experience and a lot of lessons to teach people, and I just kind of wanted to do this. It's going to be geared towards athletes, parents, and geared towards coaches. So I just wanted to thank you guys for checking this out. I'm going to be doing this on YouTube and then doing some shorts and putting them on Instagram through my Coach Mark Throws Instagram, and my YouTube is also Coach Mark Throws. For those of you who don't know who I am, the throws coach on the track and field program for IMGA Academy. This is the start of my 6th year at IMGA Academy. I work with athletes all over the country, all over the world, shot with discus, javelin, and hammer. A lot of people think I'm a hammer specialist, but I've also had a lot of really good discus throwers and a lot of good shot putters. And starting to build that javelin resume up a little bit. Have multiple national champions and have multiple kids that are currently competing at the Division I level and the major Division I level. Schools like Illinois, schools like North Carolina, schools Michigan, schools like Notre Dame. But I'm more of an athlete developer, I think. Taking a lot of the kids from not ever throwing an implement or not even knowing what throwing is. They came from a jumping background or a sprinter's background and developing them into very good throwers at the next level. I'm going to tell a lot of things like that about the development of these athletes. So basically what this podcast is going to be is it's going to be a resource for athletes again. It's going to be a resource for parents and coaches. And we'll have open conversations. I'll try and do some interviews with past athletes, maybe coaches that I'm friendly with and coaches that I respect that can bring you some good content. Some athletes that I've coached in the past, some IMG athletes, current IMG athletes. So it'll be fun. I'm really pretty excited about doing this. Like I said, I wanted to do this for a while. So I don't know why my light keeps going off. I'll have to figure that out. So we've already talked about the recruiting piece of it. I'll ask for your feedback as well too, like in the comments. And what do you have questions about? What are some things about your development and your competition mindset, which is something that I think that a lot of coaches overlook is getting the kids in the right mind. When do we know when to compete? When do we know when to train? What are the true differences? What are the kind of intensities that we train at? Things like that. Handling adversity, the pursuit of excellence. Those types of mindsets are what sometimes I think that we miss, and we try and get really tight on the cues and tight on the programming that we put together for them. And a lot of times we just get them in the right mindset and make it so that their confidence level is where it needs to be for the competition. I think that we're doing 85 to 90% of our job, and we do that. We just had a really spectacular meet at IMG Academy, the Under Armour National Championships, and it was a very important event for us. We put a lot of time, we put a lot of energy into that, and I think that it was a big success. We hosted athletes from all over the country. We crowned national champions. We had kids that set personal bests and had that opportunity to compete at the national level. And some that may not have been able to do that. It was a regional type of event. We had a lot of kids from Carolina. We had a lot of kids from Georgia. We had a lot of kids from Tennessee. We had a lot of kids. Texas really showed out. I saw all the comments and I saw all IMG's going to just recruit all your kids. And it wasn't about that. I'm sure that's where everybody's minds first went, but it was really about opportunity. I think if you talk to the kids that were here, you'll see that this was an athlete-friendly event. It was for the athletes. Some really great performances happened. We'll talk a little bit about that on a future episodes. But again, I want to reach out and call out to you guys and see what kind of topics that you might want to dive into. First off, thank you for tuning into this first edition, this test round, this episode 0. I hope it takes off. I hope you can give me some suggestions as well. Again, I'm Coach Mark. This has been episode 0, dedicated to throwing, recruiting, athlete development, and helping athletes thrive. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.